In today's gospel, Jesus is brought face to face with a woman caught in the act of adultery. Presumably there was a man with her too, but we're not told anything about him, which perhaps says something about the woman's accusers. Anyway, the scribes and Pharisees use this woman to set a not-so-subtle trap for Jesus. According to the law of Moses, the penalty for adultery is death by stoning, and the scribes and Pharisees ask Jesus what he thinks of this. Presumably, the gathered crowd has been whipped up into the sort of frenzy that tends to precede such acts of collective violence. So, if Jesus contradicts the Mosaic law to save the woman, as the scribes and Pharisees no doubt suspect he might, then he risks taking her place as the target of the mob's fury. It's a precarious situation Jesus finds himself in. If he says yes, they will stone the woman. If he says no, they will probably stone him. Either way, there will be bloodshed. In response, Jesus does something unexpected. He bends down and starts writing on the ground. We're not sure what he wrote, but this gesture has the effect of lowering the temperature and interrupting the social momentum of the mob. Jesus will not be forced into playing their game. When he is pressed for an answer, Jesus says the famous line, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." Now note, these words aren't an attack against the accusers. Jesus is seeking to get them to come to their senses. In a real sense, he is as concerned for the accusers as he is for the woman. He wants to break through their hardened hearts. And then the most amazing thing happens. The spell is broken. One by one, the crowd regains their individuality, and, beginning with the eldest, they depart. Turning to the accused woman, Jesus doesn't lecture her on morality. He says to her what she most needs to hear, "I do not condemn you." With this in place, she is now able to hear his next line, "Go and sin no more." This is important. Some folks jump straight to the repudiation of sin before establishing a relationship and affirming the Lord's offer of mercy. Such an approach is unlikely to be received well. On the other hand, some folks act as though Jesus essentially said the woman's sin was no big deal, neglecting the fact that this is precisely what the Pharisees were trying to get him to say, and he specifically avoided it. Both aspects are important. As the saying goes, love the sinner, hate the sin. Throughout Lent, we are brought face to face with our own propensity for sin. But like the woman in the gospel, we are also assured that Jesus loves us and does not condemn us. Reflecting on the depth of Christ's love for us, shown most clearly in his death on the cross, let us respond by striving to sin no more, knowing that sin only impedes the fullness of life that Christ came to offer us. As St. Paul says in our second reading, "I look on everything as so much rubbish, if only I can have Christ and be given a place in him."